Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining me in the studio is the director, the executive director of the Lincoln Amphitheatre, spelled with an R-E.
That's right.
That is Marc Steczyk. Marc, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Lincoln Amphitheatre is closed down right now because it is the end of the season and you're getting things done. So what happens in the off-season at Lincoln Amphitheatre?
Yeah, it's very interesting because people think that once we have our last event, which was October 2nd this year, they're like, well, what do you guys do? What do you do? And I'm the only full-time employee, right? So we have a lot of seasonal employees, but I'm the only full-time employee, and it's hard to describe to people that don't really know how that the entertainment industry works. But for us to have a successful season, we have to work well in advance to ensure that that season is successful. So immediately, we obviously start shutting down the facility, getting it ready for winter, but we're also planning for the infrastructure improvements that we're going to do in the off season, while also planning for the next season's activities, the events and the rental events that we go after as well. So it's actually probably a busier time than what people think. We don't have to worry about facility as much because we're not actively operating on the stage, but it is a busy time getting contracts and all that type of stuff ready.
Now, you mentioned infrastructure sort of work, and those are things people don't see. They don't, you have to run new light runners, or you have to do something to the stage. So now's the time.
Yeah, so we have over the past 5 years, I think next year will be our 7th year, but over the past 5 to 6 years, we've really tried to get our production infrastructure up to speed. We inherited, not that it was horrible, but it was just not where it needed to be for what we needed it to do. So we've invested quite a bit of money, probably about $400,000 or $500,000 into the new sound rig, new soundboards, that type of thing, trusses. This year we are taking our 1987 incandescent theatrical lights that we can no longer actually get bulbs for, and we're replacing that with much more efficient LED infrastructure. So it's a pretty intense upgrade for us. Unfortunately, it's going to be above the seating area, above the grid, I should say, where people can't see it.
They won't notice you.
So they won't know
anything.
They won't know that we've spent $125,000 on that upgrade, but it is taking place this year. And as we head into 2022, which is our 35th year, as the venue's 35th year, it opened in 1987. We're really trying to also now not just make production improvements, but also do some things like in the restrooms and replacing some of the original mezzanine benches and just some very visible things as people walk up. Bollard lights as you walk up, so the mezzanine lighting that is original to the facility, we're replacing that as well. So all of that takes time to implement. These are not cheap fixes. It's not like you can just call your friend and have them come over. There's a procurement process that has to take place. And so we're just looking forward to getting it going. We've got a lot of the contracts locked in right now. It's just a matter of getting to a time when the construction can actually start.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the shows that you bring to Lincoln Amphitheatre. There is always, I guess you could say, your anchor in a way is the play, Lincoln, because what's the protocol there? You do that, you have to do that play, and then the other shows are. Tell me about that.
So the other shows kind of supplement. So yeah, we'll always do a Lincoln production of some kind, whether it's a musical or whether it's, this past year we did something called The Rivalry, which was just a 6-person cast, and it focused on the Lincoln-Douglas debate. So there's always going to be a Lincoln twist to it, and I think that's important. The facility was built and opened in 1987 to feature and continue to talk about the time that Lincoln and his family spent and how important it was to his foundation in Southern Indiana. So I think it's important that we always do something play-related, Lincoln-related. However, that doesn't generate a whole lot of income. And when we came into this position in the summer of 2015, we inherited a budget that was already the lowest budget that has historically that the amphitheater had ever had, and it's only went down from there. We've been able to clearly have some success from a revenue perspective to offset those losses. But what we do on the front end of the season and on the back end of the season with the play in the middle is offer 3 to 4 nationally touring shows. Your Samantha Fish last year, Del McCurry, those type of shows. But then we also offer tribute shows, which a lot of people around here seem to gravitate toward, because when you go out, the feeling is, at least from where we sit, that people want to know every song that they're seeing and hearing, and they want to sing along with it, and they want to have a good time with their friends. This year more than ever, because last year was truncated and it was limited capacity, last year being 2020. So there was just a hunger for that type of thing, and those shows offset the losses associated with any kind of play, which we know we're going to incur, right? Mm-hmm. So it's important that we have a play, but it's also important that we have these other things that draw and sell tickets.
And it's not an easy task to book people, because you're trying to fit schedules within their schedules, within a budget, within the entertainment that people want to watch.
Right, and on top of it, you're trying to get them for a date in Lincoln City, Indiana, on a Saturday. Yeah. So that makes it a little bit more difficult as well. The thing that helps us is we are on a good route, with 64 being, right out our back door, and then of course Nashville is only 2.5 hours away, so that helps us as well. So it is a challenge, but I think as we enter our 7th year, we are creating a reputation, if you will, as being good to work with, and bands seem to enjoy coming here, especially as we've improved the production.
Is there anything you can tell us about 2022?
I wish I could.
Okay,
I wish I could, but we're still early in the game. We got a little bit of a late start on the booking for 2022, because initially there was, it was August and September, and COVID unfortunately was making a rise. The Delta variant was making a rise, and there was a little bit of a pause on the industry in that what was going to be out and what's going to go in 2022, and that seems to have hopefully worked itself out. And knock on wood, will continue to stay relatively under control as we head towards 2022. But yeah, we're booking right now, and it will be, we won't stray too far from the formula that has gotten us where we are, because people seem to like that. But we will, with the 35th year, we will try to do some special things and make it just a little bit more special for everybody that attends.
If somebody's looking to buy tickets, you really can't be buying tickets now for 2022 yet, because you don't know.
Correct, yeah.
How do is it the best thing to keep track of your website?
Yeah.
Are there season ticket holders who get notices saying, okay, now they're ready?
Yeah, so the season tickets, we actually, we sell out of those every year, so we can only sell so many, because we have an online ticketing vendor for single tickets, and they make more money if we sell single tickets. So we can only sell so many. We offered those up for renewal to the 2021 season ticket holders, and we've already sold out of that capacity. So we're kind of, from that perspective, we've closed the books on season tickets. But we announce our season, I think it's going to be February 8th of 2022. And obviously our social channels will be updated, our website will be updated at that time, and the press will be notified.
You do a great
Hopefully
job.
we'll be back on in.form.
Yeah. When you get your first show ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Marc, thank you very much. So now you know, Lincoln Amphitheatre has a lot of work going on right now as they get ready for the new year.
Yeah, we have, very quickly, we
sure.
have about $300,000 worth of improvements we're working on right now. So it's not insignificant. So we're looking forward to 2022, and we're looking forward to hosting you and everybody else.
All right, Marc, thank you very much for being our guest.
Thanks for having me.
Our guest has been Marc Steczyk. He's the executive director at Lincoln Amphitheatre. Make sure you plan to make shows there next year in 2022. Thank you for watching 18 WJTS. We're local people watching local people.